If you're watching this video, then you've definitely heard of the legendary Warren Buffett. But how about the guy standing right next to him, Charlie Munger? This world-class investment master didn't just have a great career. He had a life story that is way more dramatic than anything you can possibly imagine. But before we dive in, let me ask you a crucial question. If you were a lawyer, a seemingly established, middle-aged professional, and in a short amount of time, you went through a brutal divorce, lost all your money, watched your 8-year-old son die from terminal illness, and then, later on, lost an eye, could you honestly still hold on to hope? Doesn't a low point like that sound like a tragedy that would be impossible to ever recover from? The crazy part is, this is the same guy who, despite losing almost everything, used his unique genius and rock-solid persistence to write one of the most unbelievable comeback stories in history, ultimately becoming a multi-billion-dollar investment legend. Today, we are going to walk through the incredible life of Charlie Munger. We're not just going to talk about how rich he got. More importantly, we're going to dissect his relentless spirit for learning and his courage in the face of absolute hardship. Then, we'll analyze the 4 most valuable pieces of investment wisdom he ever gave us. Because this isn't just about making money. It's about how we can find our own golden opportunity even when our lives hit rock bottom. Munger's life was never a smooth ride. He was born right into the middle of the Great Depression, so he understood struggle and hardship from the jump. To help his family out, he started working odd jobs at just 12 years old. This experience gave him a deep, visceral understanding of what financial independence was really worth. Even as a kid, Munger was clearly different. He was a total bookworm, and he developed a sharp negotiating skill. When trading hamsters with the other neighborhood kids, he could almost always trade up for a bigger or rarer color. It was an early hint of his future business genius. He eventually went to Harvard Law School and graduated as one of the top students in his class. Everything looked great, but the gears of fate took a cruel turn in 1953. Munger, at 29, faced his first major setback. He ended an 8-year marriage with his first wife, and when the divorce was finalized, he was left virtually cleaned out, moving into a simple bachelor's dorm. But it got worse, much worse. Soon after the divorce, his 8-year-old son, Teddy, was diagnosed with leukemia. In that era, leukemia was essentially a death sentence, and Munger had zero medical insurance. To cover the absolutely massive treatment bills, Charlie had to drain every last bit of his savings. He talked about driving his old, beat-up, dusty yellow car to the hospital every single day to see his son. After leaving, he often couldn't help but just break down crying on the street. Munger later painfully recalled, "I used to think that desperately chasing money was vulgar, but when my child was lying sick in the hospital, I realized that, without money, you can't even hold on to your loved ones." In 1955, 9-year-old Teddy passed away. At 31, Munger was divorced, broke, and had lost his beloved son. This dark period forged a resilient, steely will, and it became the pivotal moment when he decided to fully commit to investing and earning wealth. If you are moved by Munger's sheer persistence during this devastating time and think that kind of grit is incredibly rare, do me a favor and hit the like button. So, after losing everything, how exactly did Munger manage to find a new path in life? Keep watching to find out. Just when his life was at its absolute darkest, fate opened a huge door for Charlie. In 1959, 35-year-old Munger went back to his hometown of Omaha to handle some legal issues for his father. At a dinner party, he ran into a young man who would change his life forever, 29-year-old Warren Buffett. The meeting was actually pretty dramatic. Munger told a joke and started laughing so hard that he ended up rolling on the floor. Buffett later remembered, "I instantly knew that Charlie was exactly the kind of person I would like, and exactly the kind of person I needed to learn from." The two clicked immediately and talked all night long. Buffett eventually spent a lot of time trying to convince Munger, saying, "The way you're making a living is much worse than mine." In 1962, 38-year-old Charlie made the biggest decision of his life. He quit his law practice to focus entirely on investing. That same year, he founded his own investment firm. From 1962 to 1975, his company achieved an insane average annual compound return of 19.8%, while the Dow Jones Index averaged only 5% during the same time frame. This proved Munger's natural investment talent and began his decades-long golden partnership with Buffett. Do you think Munger's decision to ditch a stable lawyer's career for investing was a gutsy move? If you were in his situation back then, would you have made the same choice? Drop a comment below and let me know your take. Now that his investment career had started, what were Munger's most classic moves, And how did he even manage to completely shift Buffett's investing principles? Let's keep going. Munger's greatest gift to the investment community was completely changing the way Warren Buffett thought about money. Before he met Munger, Buffett was all about the cigar butt investing method, looking for companies that were so dirt cheap they were almost trash, just waiting for one last free puff. But Munger successfully convinced him we should buy wonderful businesses at a fair price, and simply stop buying mediocre businesses at a cheap price. The most famous example is See's Candies. In 1971, the popular California confectioner was looking for a buyer. At the time, the company had annual sales of $30 million and $4 million in profit. Buffett initially wasn't interested because, based on his cigar butt rules, See's Candies was too expensive at $25 million, which was a 15 times price-to-earnings ratio. But Munger saw something else: powerful brand loyalty, high profit margins, low capital needs, and strong pricing power. Ultimately, on the 3rd of January 1972, Berkshire Hathaway bought 100% of See's Candies for $25 million. This single investment was revolutionary for Buffett. Buffett later famously said, "If we hadn't bought See's Candies, we never would have bought Coca-Cola." See's Candies went on to generate over $2 billion in profit for Berkshire Hathaway. This investment allowed Buffett to make the incredible transition from cigar butt investing to focusing on high-quality businesses. The second classic case is Wells Fargo. During the 2008 financial crisis, when everyone was selling off their shares in a panic, Munger advised Buffett to aggressively buy more. He believed the market was overreacting to the fear, and Wells Fargo had clear advantages in cost control and its customer base. Munger was right. Wells Fargo not only had the advantage of collecting low-cost deposits, but its management was also known for integrity and strict cost control. While other banks were making excuses for bad international loans, Wells Fargo immediately wrote them down, saying, "These loans shouldn't have been made, and we will never do it again." That contrarian investment, at $8 per share, eventually resulted in returns of many multiples. The third case is the miracle 17-year investment in BYD. In 2008, Munger strongly pushed Buffett to invest in the Chinese electric vehicle company BYD, praising its founder, Wang Chuanfu, as a combination of Thomas Edison and Jack Welch. Due to Munger's persistence, Berkshire invested in 225 million H shares of BYD at 8 Hong Kong dollars per share, holding 9.89% of the total shares. Although this investment saw huge swings in the stock price, at one point shooting up 11 times to 87 Hong Kong dollars, and then crashing back down to 12 Hong Kong dollars, Munger and Buffett chose to hold tight. By the time they finished liquidating the position in 2025, that $230 million initial investment had turned into nearly $8 billion, achieving a return of almost 40 times. Out of these three classic stories, See's Candies, Wells Fargo, and BYD, which one do you think best shows off Munger's investment vision? Let me know your answer in the comments. Now, how was Munger able to make so many successful investments? Let's break down his core wisdom in the next section. Charlie Munger's success comes directly from his unique way of thinking and his life principles. Here, we summarize 4 points that are incredibly important and worth everyone studying. First, diversify thinking, building a lattice of wisdom. Munger said, "You have to have multiple mental models." He believed that knowledge is like a set of wooden planks. Only when you piece together planks from different fields, like mathematics, physics, and psychology, into a kind of lattice, can you effectively catch the big fish. This cross-disciplinary thinking allowed him to analyze problems from every angle and make much more rational decisions. Second, inversion. Invert. Always invert. This is Munger's most famous motto. His core idea is simple. To succeed, you must first study how to fail. It's just like that classic quote, "All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there." That is some seriously deep wisdom. Third, the circle of competence. Knowing your boundaries. Munger always stressed, "I'm very good at knowing when I can't handle something." A real circle of competence is not, "I think I can, but I genuinely understand." Munger was okay with admitting when he didn't know something and would simply avoid complex areas like technology and biology. When you're making investment decisions, which factor usually pushes you outside your circle of competence? Is it the fear of missing out, or maybe a recommendation from a friend or a family member? Drop me a comment and tell me. Fourth, long-term focus. Time is the friend of the wonderful business. Munger said, The big money is not in the buying and selling, it's in the waiting. He believed truly great investment opportunities are rare. Once you find one, you need to bet big and hold it for the long run. This long-term mindset wasn't only visible in his investing, it was also shown in his 54-year marriage to his second wife, Nancy. Which one do you think is the best fit for your life right now? Is it the mental models, or maybe that long-term focus? Feel free to discuss it with us in the comments. On the 28th of November 2023, Charlie Munger passed away peacefully at the age of 99. In the official announcement, Warren Buffett said, Berkshire Hathaway could not have been built to its present status without Charlie's inspiration, wisdom, and participation. From a middle-aged lawyer who went through bankruptcy, the loss of his son, and blindness, to becoming one of the most successful investors on the planet, Charlie Munger's 99 years on this earth truly proved that what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. If you're struggling through a low point in your life, please remember Charlie Munger's story. Even in the darkest moments, you have to believe that the light is coming. As long as you keep that passion for learning, stick to your principles, and practice that inverted thinking, everyone can write their own legendary life story. Finally, let's leave you with one of Munger's great quotes. Every day, strive to be a little wiser than you were when you woke up. If you found today's content inspiring or helpful, please give me a quick thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can also share what you learned from Munger's story in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.